It's the news that we hate starting your day with. As we come on air, police and investigators are on scene right now near 22nd and Blaisdell Avenue in South Minneapolis, where a police officer gave his life trying to protect others. We're going to get to that breaking news in just 1 minute. We have team coverage for you. But first, we're tracking rain hitting the metro right now. So let's get right over to John with what you need to know before you head out the door.
Yeah, we are tracking this rain band right now, especially from St. Cloud down to the Twin Cities, just starting to pick up steam. Now, this is your lightest band of the day, and then we'll actually see heavier thunderstorm type rain come in this afternoon and this evening. So right now you got some pockets, like I said, Redwood Falls through Hutchinson. You can see the rain pretty spotty around the metro, but starting to come in Northfield, little rain on 35 going south. Heading into the metro, looks like it's coming into 494 into Plymouth up towards Elk River and Rogers. Been a little bit more of a wet start in Rogers so far, but that will change as it is moving on more of the east side of the metro. Heading north, Mora, there's some rain over towards Lake Mille Lacs, but you can see Brainerd is going to be on the edge of this throughout the entire day. So this is just the beginning. We got to track this full thing out, talk about when it's going to clear this weekend as well in your forecast. Cece?
Hey, pretty serious situation. Lino Lakes, a crash. A car looks like it's flipped onto its roof. I-35W northbound between County Road 23, Lake Drive in the 35E area. Maybe you're headed up to Columbus area. You see things kind of down to one lane. You may run into this, so just take it slow if you're in that area. Hopefully everyone is okay in that situation. Also tracking a stalled vehicle situation in Minneapolis. It is blocking a lane. It's right between East 35th Street here. There's my camera. East 35th Street and East 36th Street on 35W. See a tow truck just getting to the scene minutes ago. So if you're headed down into Richfield, maybe Bloomington, stay to your right. I believe there's a crew there with a sign telling you to do that. But a couple of situations I'm tracking. Otherwise, things looking pretty great across the metro, but I'll let you know when these two situations clear. Jason.
Cece, thank you very much. We need to catch you up on new details coming in the last few hours on the deadly ambush-style shooting in Minneapolis. We know an officer is among 3 people dead. Several others are injured, including a second officer and a firefighter. This happened in the Whittier neighborhood near 22nd and Blaisdell Avenue South. Officers were called in around 5:30 last night, responding to 2 people shot inside of an apartment. I'll bring you team coverage. Audrey has been digging into what we know about the fallen officer, but first, let's get to Michelle with new information from police overnight about how all of this happened. Michelle.
Jason, well, just a few minutes ago, the last officers here at this apartment building here behind me, they have left after being finished, presumably setting or clearing or securing the scene right here. And all this comes as we get brand new reaction from the Minneapolis police chief about how a horrific sequence of events happened here, all spanning these 2 blocks, involving the deaths of 3 people, 4 others shot. Now, the BCA tells us this information. MPD officer Jamal Mitchell was trying to help victims near the scene of a shooting at this apartment. He died trying to help the man who shot him. As we wait for more details on that, state investigators did also reveal at least 1 other officer yesterday fired back, and the suspected shooter died. A civilian also died. More bullets hitting a second police officer, a firefighter, a bystander, and another person.
This is the worst call a police chief can get, is that one of your own has given their life in the line of duty. It's beyond comprehension.
And what you just heard there from Chief O'Hara was the latest we heard from officials overnight. But really late last night, too, lots of state leaders, they were using the word ambush, including the BCA. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, I'll detail what that word means, how much of this timeline of events officials are detailing at this moment. For now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. And we also spoke with several neighbors at the scene who described the terrifying moments as the shooting unfolded.
The gunshots that were just in quick succession, like boom, 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 boom. Honestly, the whole time I was just hoping like a stray bullet doesn't like fly in through our window.
And in a show of unity, Mayor Frey, Governor Walz, and other state and local leaders spoke late last night.
This is one of those incidents should be unthinkable, but it's very thinkable because it's now happened 4 times in the last couple months.
We got to do everything possible to make sure that these tragic events, this epidemic of gun violence, this kind of stuff never happens again.
An emotional scene in the last 10 hours as Jamal Mitchell's body was taken to the medical examiner's office in Minnetonka. The miles-long procession included hundreds of officers honoring the ultimate sacrifice that Officer Mitchell made. In the last few hours, we've learned more about who Jamal Mitchell is and his legacy now living on after his death. Audrey is live in the medical examiner's office where Officer Mitchell's body was taken just hours ago. Audrey.
Yeah, Jason, oftentimes in these situations, we hear the phrase, he ran towards the danger rather than away from it. And we're learning that Officer Jamal Mitchell has pretty much been doing that since his first few days on the job. We're learning he's only been a Minneapolis police officer for around a year and a half. We learned that last February, Officer Mitchell ran into a burning building with no fire training on his third day on the job to rescue an elderly couple. Assistant Police Chief Katie Blackwell talking about this heroic act at a press conference just a few hours ago. She said that that level of courage, for which she was awarded and commended, is rare to find in an officer so early in their career.
To our fallen officer, Jamal Mitchell, he was a hero. I've never met an officer that received an award on the third day on the job during his FTO. He's courageous in every action that he did. He was a wonderful human being.
Yeah. Now, Officer Mitchell leaves behind a fiance and a child. As you drive by state office buildings this morning, you may notice that the flags have been lowered to half staff. That was a directive that was issued overnight by Governor Walz in Officer Mitchell's honor, describing him as a dedicated public servant. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll hear more from the mayor of the city of Minneapolis about how he's promising to honor this fallen officer. Jason?
Just heartbroken for his family and the community here. All right, Audrey, thank you. And there's still a lot to learn about this situation. You can follow the latest developments on air and online at KARE11.com. On time now 6:07 this morning, we're also following the historic guilty verdict handed down 15 hours ago in former President Trump's hush money trial. In a matter of hours, former President Trump is expected to speak outside of Trump Tower. Prosecutors charged him with falsifying business records in an attempt to cover up hush money payments he made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. The jury reaching the unanimous verdict after 9.5 hours of deliberation. Trump is the first former president to be convicted of felony crimes. He is expected to appeal the verdicts, but for now, a sentencing date has been set for July 11th. He could face up to 4 years in prison. We'll be back. The Minnesota Timberwolves making that promise to fans hours ago after being eliminated by the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. This was a tough series for the Wolves, and it may not have been the end that fans were hoping for, but the future is looking bright here in Minnesota.